morning. Okay, so today we are going to do the vlog outside. It is a comfortable morning. We had storm last night and it brought the temperatures down big time. So it's much better today. So ran myself this morning. Something is hovering over top of that house. Oh, okay, it's a bird on a power line. I didn't see the power line. Anyway, ran myself this morning. I came in at 177.5. You know, I don't want to misunderstand what God is prompting and what Satan is pushing, you know. So that was 3 ounces down, and it makes me feel a lot better. So like, I decided to go on ahead and walk this morning while it's cool enough, because by around noon it's going to be hot again. So I'm wanting to get this walk done. And I'd asked God last night for the Holy Spirit to guide me in the best way to utilize my fast so that my body burns the fat effectively. Because, sorry about all the traffic, that's the one reason for the fast, is for the body to burn the fat. And the less weight you have to lose, the harder it is for your body to burn the fat, because you've pretty well used up the softer fat that's easy to go. And now you're getting into the harder kind of fat that's a little more dry, more condensed. And so it's a little bit more work for the body to use that up. And so I had once done a video posing the thought that when you have less fat to lose, that's when it's time for you to work out more, right? And it would make sense. Like, when you're first starting out and you've got a lot of weight to lose, and it's the really loose, nasty fat, you know, easier for the body to get rid of, no problem. And then you get down to the more condensed fat, which is harder to burn. It only makes sense for you to start working out. Now, I don't work out enough, and I'm wanting to make it so that I work out enough so that my body does burn the fat, but not work out over excessively that there isn't any real work done. Now, I know that one of the really good ways to burn fat is to add resistance. So, like, if you do weight training, it's awesome. Or if you use your own body as a counter weight, or like taking trails where you get to do climbing and stuff is awesome. But that's because you're really working your muscles, which is an additional fat burner. So I really prefer to walk at my favorite park so that I get the real workout in, so that I'm strengthening my muscles and stuff, because having strong muscles means better fat burn. So it's good to keep the muscles strong. It's good to work them. But it isn't always convenient to go to my favorite park, because it's according to traffic and the lights. It can take up to 40 minutes to get there, even though it's not that far away. So it's not always convenient. That's the one thing that I appreciate about getting to walk around this block. Which reminds me, as I've said before, man, there is tons of big trucks going by this morning. Tons. Anyway, as I had said before, it's kind of hard on my ankles and hips to walk on cement and asphalt. And I finally found the shoes. Sorry if I'm putting the phone up too close to my head. I'm trying to make sure you all can hear me. Anyway, I finally found what is comfortable to walk this 7-mile walk. Let me show you. That's right, sandals, but not just any sandals, okay? These are Earth Spirit shoes. I just simply call them Earth shoes, but they're Earth Spirit from Walmart. And tell you what, these aren't your cheap shoes. These suckers run $20 a pop, even $25. But this is where it's worth it. They last for years, and no matter how many times you walk in them, they hold up. Almost like a SAS shoe. Only I think they last even longer than an SAS. Serious. I've owned an SAS and it wore out in no time. And I was walking that one park that I told you about in Houston. And my SASs wore out in no time. My husband wears them because he's diabetic, and so like, I guess the way they're made keeps him from developing blisters. But for me, these Earth Spirit shoes are the best made shoes I've ever invested in. So whenever I have the spare money and I'm needing new sandals, I invest in the Earth shoe. Serious. I had a great pair of thongs, and Bouncy chewed the thong off. She's got a fetish with feet, and so she enjoyed the smell of the leather and my feet in those shoes, and she chewed the thong in two, and I had to throw my sandals away. I felt like beating her until she was blue with the one shoe she broke. Really didn't have the money to get the earth shoes. But see, sometimes you have to sacrifice your finances, because if I would have just settled with cheap $10 sandals, they wouldn't last me no time. They wouldn't even hardly last me 6 months, serious. So it was well worth the investment for these sandals. They was 1989, I think. But there was some sandals that I liked even better, and they was 25. So yeah, these are not cheap shoes, but they are very, very, very well made. Very well made. And comfortable from day one until the day that one of the straps comes out from the sole, which takes years. The first pair that I'd had lasted me over 3 years, and finally the strap gave way and came out from underneath the sole. Finally came out. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Not complaining about that. And I think at that time the earth shoes costed more like $17. So, but anyway, enough about the shoes. And I promise, no endorsement for the commercial. You can go check it out for yourself. Anyway, Miss Katherine, she, she's your typical cat. She nibbles throughout the day. And so, but the sad thing is, the Manx has a problem with more or less gaining weight because they're a big breed. I mean, most female cats are tiny, and she is closer about the size of a male normal cat, like just a crossbreed of different cats, but the really sad thing is, when we first took her to the vet after we got her, she only weighed 10 pounds, and the vet said, that's a good weight, let's try to keep her there. Well, no problem, I fed her, I don't know, maybe about a third of a cup, something like that. And she would just nibble about an ounce at a time, And then, pardon, having to push up my glasses. That's the one thing I hate about wearing glasses. Anyway, so she had gained weight, started getting fat. It almost seemed to happen overnight. Well, mind you, if I remember correctly, we got her in August, so we haven't even had her a year yet. But it seemed like overnight, all of a sudden, she just, boom, gained, So when she went to see the doctor again, she was 13 pounds. And I don't remember what the ounces were. So, she's not morbid obese according to the scale, but she's definitely obese. So, oh my goodness. So I had reduced how much I was giving her in the morning to, barely comes out to a fourth of a cup. She's still nibbling away, But she really didn't have a problem of eating so much until Bouncy came into the picture. Now, I have no idea because we haven't took her to the vet yet, but I know she had to have gained another pound or so because she was afraid of Bouncy eating her food up, so instinctively she started eating more. Okay, so here we are. Old Mama here, working on losing weight. I thought, I've got to get my cat to lose weight. So I started putting her bowl up. Now what I do is I'll feed her in the morning, let her eat until she stops, and then I'll put her bowl up. And then when she starts crying at me again, I make her wait an hour or so. So in a way, I'm making Katherine do the weigh down. Of course, she doesn't pray for God to help her, but you know, in a way, yeah, because the one thing about the weigh down is when you're hungry, you make yourself wait for about half hour to an hour or so before you eat. And so what's happening is someone lost their caulking gun. Anyway, what's happening is, so like when I tell her no, not yet, eventually she goes and gets herself a drink of water. So she's drinking more water than she was, but she was drinking good water anyway. So she's drinking more water, and now before she had excessively gained the weight, she was pretty playful. She would always want one of us to throw her mouse and her chase it. It was almost a non-ending game, to the point that we was tired of throwing it for her. So it got to the point that she became pretty lethargic and just wouldn't even chase the mouse. But something must be happening to my cat. As we all know, that when we're not loaded down with food, we seem to have more energy. Well, this entire week, my cat has been showing signs of having more energy. So, looks like I'm going to keep up with this plan for my cat. And I'm hoping that by time her appointment comes around, that she'll weigh 11 pounds. Now, she's got the excessive skin because apparently before us she had gained weight, and then she ended up losing weight, but she still had a whole mess of skin on her belly. But I'm kind of noticing she's starting to get slim. So there is a very, very strong chance that she'll weigh 11 pounds by the time her appointment's around. And the other thing, at one point it gotten, she was so fat she couldn't even lick her tail, her little inch-long tail. And she would try to bring it around, not having a tail, mind you, beyond the inch to even lick. And she couldn't reach it. She couldn't reach around to even lick her little stub tail. Now, she can reach around and lick it, no problem. I think I'm doing my cat some good. What do you all think? So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you about how Katherine is doing. And I keep telling her, you and I's got to lose the weight, girl. So Mama not feeding you. Mama's not eating. You're not either. But I'm not going to put Katherine on OMAD. Cats don't eat that way. Dogs, yeah. Cats, no. So the best thing that I can do for Katherine is allow her to eat about 4 times a day. And that's about how much food I put in her bowl. Just enough for her to eat about 4 times a day. So I hate doing it to her. And the really sad thing is we had gotten the rate control food. She was still gaining weight with it. Whew. So, yep. Mama had to go to more drastic measures. And so now the really cool thing is she's starting to play again. She's even chasing Miss Bouncy out of mischief and contriteness, of course, not because she wants to play with her, but nonetheless she's doing it. So little changes. And something that I've noticed about me this morning is my waist is getting even smaller. Now, I've always had a small waist before I'd gotten large. So my waist is getting smaller. And when I'm standing, I can feel my ribs. When I'm standing, I haven't been able to feel my ribs while standing since I was a kid. And then I didn't try to. But now I can feel my ribs. That is awesome. So, yeah. And I don't think it's going to be much longer that the scales are going to take a nosedive. Because as long as I keep staying focused and I don't binge and everything, it's just a matter of time before those scales take another nosedive. And it isn't unusual for me to linger within a 10-pound radius for a couple months. It's not unusual. And I'm just going to be patient and keep pursuing. And that's the only thing a person can do. Not lose hope, not lose focus, but just keep working at it. And that's what I plan on doing. Just keep working at it. It's the only thing I can do. I don't want to go back to my old ways. And I sure don't want to gain the weight back. So the only other thing to do is just continue facing forward and continue doing what I know works. So anyway, this has gone longer than what I would like. It's a little hard to stop filming when you're working on it while you're walking. It's a little hard, but I love you guys. I do. I greatly appreciate you so very much. You all have a great day.